For question one thing I thought that was interesting about the play was the parallels with people's opinions over the LGBTQ community that we still see today. I think oftentimes we still see more religious and conservative people, such as Reverend Fred Phelps, who oppose it, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who are willing to accept it as well. For question two, the first value I found was forgiveness. I think this was especially evident at the end of the play when Matthew Shepard's parents decided not to give Aaron, who was one of his murderers, the death penalty. They instead decided to forgive him and let him live. And the second value I found was change. Many characters throughout the play work to change the views and laws that surround the LGBTQ community, especially after Matthew's death. One of these that stuck out to me was devout Mormon Rulon Stacy, who cried on national television when announcing Matthew's death, and this shows that it impacted him, although he may not have supported them in the past. Question three, what I wanted to look into more was why they sang Amazing Grace at the funeral. And what I found is that this song represents forgiveness and redemption regardless of sins. And this was sung in response to the Reverend Fred Phelps, who actually protested the funeral, and it just shows that people believe that you can still be forgiven no matter what, even though some traditional people think that LGBTQ community might not fall into this category. Question four. I saw Laramie as depicted as a close-knit community with traditional values. Many of them were very religious and conservative. And what I found is that acceptance in this community was openly supporting and pushing for more rights for the LGBTQ community, while tolerance was more willingness to live with it but never step out and speak out about injustices that were happening. And I think the Tectonic Theater Project wants us to walk away thinking about how different views can help or hurt this community, as we saw in the aftermath of Matthew's death. And for question five, the three things that I found for, in comparison to Intimate Apparel's episodic structure, was one, this play takes place over a longer period of time, because they needed to go into more detail about the effects and what happened leading up to Matthew's death. Number two was that there's numerous characters telling the story versus in Intimate Apparel where it was Esther. And then three, it was almost structured like a recollection, like they were piecing together facts and events, and I think this kind of helped show the impact it had on the community, where in Intimate Apparel this wasn't needed as much since it was one person telling the story. And the two questions I have are, one, do you think opinions of the LGBTQ community have changed today? And two, were Matthew's parents justified in not giving Aaron the death penalty? Thank you.